Here is exactly how I made $34,000 in 30 days with my AI agency without doing any cold outreach. Okay, I'm about to break down the whole funnel that I used. Okay, so I want you to get your pen and papers because this is gonna be the sauciest ever fucking video you'll see if you run an AI agency. Okay, so the last 30 days, I've been able to book 32 sales calls. Out of those 32 people who booked a sales call, 24 out of them showed up, which is a 74.4% show up rate, which is amazing. And out of those 24 people, 9 of them were closed as a high ticket client. And I literally had to reject businesses due to capacity. So this new funnel that I'm about to show you is fucking overpowered. And no one in the game, no one in the AI agency space is using it right now or teaching it away. Okay, because I know I am the one who created it and I'm the one who tested it and I'm the one who got results with it. Okay, this have been my best week so far. I had in 9 days. Okay, I had 8 leads or 8 businesses who applied to work with me. Out of those 8 businesses, I managed to book 62% of them, or I managed to book 5 out of them as a call, which is 62% conversion rate from leads to calls. And then out of those 5 people we booked on a call, all of them showed up, which was 100% show up rate. And we managed to close 3 out of them, which is a 60% close rate. I'm not good at sales. It's not what it is. It's just that the whole funnel is just fucking powerful. And we collected $10,086 in revenue that week. Okay. So how did I get here? Okay, I started my AI agency. For those of you who don't know me, I've been documenting my whole journey on my AI agency. I started back not a long time ago, March, April 2025, right? I did what every guru out there told me to do, cold outreach, right? And this is basically how it went. There's a screen, I sent this to my friend, right? I did this day, the day of this picture, I did 237 cold calls. Out of them, 120 picked up, and I managed to book 1 meeting. And this took me around like 5-6 hours. And not to mention, scrape the leads and all of that shit, right? I'm not even gonna mention that. But I booked on average 1 to 3 meetings after 250 cold calls on average. And this was back in the early days when AI was new and business owners didn't know too much about AI. So when you called them, you could just basically say the word AI and they were already interested, right? Now the market is shifting a little bit, right? So it's getting harder and harder. I'm gonna get more into that later on, right? I also tried cold emails. That was even worse. 1 to 2% reply rate and just cost a lot and it was expensive, right? And this one day I remember sitting there and I just fucking lost it. I lost my head. I was like, what the fuck is this, bro? I'm just better working a 9 to 5 than doing this shit, grinding 8 hours a day just to book 1 meeting and that meeting doesn't even show up, right? I knew that AI was hot. I knew that AI is the future. The problem is not the AI. I knew that, but the problem was the client acquisition, right? The client acquisition method, which was cold outreach, was not stable, it was not sustainable, and I knew that I will become a commodity once more people start. I knew it back then because I knew I was one of the first people who started an AI agency, right? And I knew that more and more people would start this every single day. And everyone would be spamming cold outreach. So when everyone does it, I won't be able to stand out. So I need to do something different, right? So I went online and I researched the most popular gurus who ran an agency, right? And it wasn't only AI agency, it was any kind of agency or getting clients, basically, who got a lot of clients. And I found out that they told us to do outreach, but they did the complete opposite. Think about it. None of the fucking gurus you watch do outreach. They get their clients from something else. And I'm going to break down exactly that in this video, right? So I did what they did to get clients, and I scaled my agency to 30K a month on average. I had a lot of good months, 20K, 30K, 25K, 27K. Last month I had my best month, and last month I did 0 outreach, which was $34,000. Okay? Now, before we get into how this works, I want to filter out all the people that shouldn't be here. If you don't run an agency already, If you're just thinking about starting one, this is not for you, okay? This is only for the people who already run an AI agency. This is for the people who are already doing outreach, using like 5 to 8 hours a day, only to book like 5 meetings, 10 meetings a month, and 3 of them show and 0 of them close. Even if someone closes, they want to churn, they want to go through millions of objections, they're shitty clients, right? If you're sick and tired of grinding outreach, this is for you. This is for the people who wants to get clients on autopilot without reaching out to businesses. This is for the people who want clients chasing them. Just like I showed you in the screenshot right here. I have thousands of people wanting to work with me, right? As you can see here, what industry are you in? We have software, I have a gym, a lead generation agency, barbershop, roofing company, gym, right? These businesses are reaching out to me on a form and I managed to book all of them on a call, or most of them on a call, right? This is for you. If you're stuck between $3,000 to $10,000 a month, this is for you. And you want to scale to 30 to 50K a month without having to do a single form of outreach, this is for you. If you haven't started an agency, if you're making zero money, if you're dead broke, this is not for you. You're just gonna waste your time, okay? Now, first of all, I wanna say this on the behalf of every AI agency owner. Fuck outreach, okay? Here is the problem with outreach. And now bring out your pen and paper because this is gonna be the most sauciest video you ever seen. With outreach, the first problem is you are not standing out at all, okay? Business owners get approached with the same AI offer 100 times a day, okay? Look, this is not the early 2025 anymore. When I started back in March, April, it was the early 2025. AI was new. There was not a lot of AI agencies on the block, right? You could just say the word AI. Business owner haven't heard about it before. They got interested. They knew that AI was hype and all of that, right? So it was easier to basically do outreach and get clients and actually speak to them and make them listen to you, right? But nowadays, everyone and their uncle has an AI agency. Everyone and their uncle is selling an AI agent that promises to solve some specific problem within a business, whether that's getting them more appointments, saving them more time, or whatever, or automating whatever, right? So they already heard this millions of times, right? So you're not standing out at all. Also, what it does is, since you're reaching out, you're chasing them, you're like, it puts you in a like positions you as needy and low status. And because of this, you have no authority and frame. And what's the most important thing when it comes to sales and making money? Having authority and having frame. If you don't have that, how the fuck do you expect the other person to buy? If you were to go buy from a fitness coaching, and that fitness coach was fat, he had no authority, and he was needy, he reached out to you, right, saying, hey, I'm fat, or he didn't say I'm fat, but hey, do you want to go down in weight? And you looked at him and he was fat. You wouldn't buy from him, right? This is exactly the position cold outreach puts you in. No, low status, no authority, and no frame, right? And it is a numbers game. It's a purely numbers game, right? The more volume you do, the more money you make. That also means that more volume you do, the more expenses you make. So there's a cap. Your profit margins will always remain the same, right? So it's kind of, you can scale with it and it works, right? But it sucks and it is hard to scale. You have no trust. The prospects do not fucking trust you. You call someone and you tell them to hop on a call with you, or you tell them like, hey, here's a demo. They do not fucking trust you. And what is the number one thing for someone like to convert from an ice cold lead to a client? It is trust. So if they don't trust you, how the fuck do you expect them to buy? And if they don't trust you, how the fuck do you expect to scale your agency, right? The conversion rates fucking sucks. 2 to 5% conversion rates. It is very expensive to scale. I already mentioned this. More volume means you have to do more expenses. And it doesn't compound. Every outreach is worthless tomorrow, right? You do outreach today, you reach out to someone that says no, boom, just wasted. You wasted that lead because you probably spend money on getting that lead, right? You're scraping leads. It doesn't fucking compound. You just have to do more and more and more and more. You're in this hamster wheel forever. You don't have a real business. You don't have a real brand. You don't have something sustainable, right? So that's the reason we say fuck outreach. Let me break it down to you in numbers, the problem with outreach. To land one client, let's say you're doing cold emails, right? To land one client, this is how it goes. You have to send around 2,000 to 3,000 emails, okay? Out of them, 20 to 25% of them are going to open the email, which is going to be 400 to 750 people, okay? Out of them, 1 to 3% of them will reply, which is going to be 20 to 90 people, if you're lucky, okay? Out of those 20 to 90 replies, 10 to 30 of them will be a positive reply. If you actually offer a demo, they will say yes for the demo, right? So that's a 0.5 to 1% like conversion rate of the emails you sent. Negative replies, right, will be 10 to 60. Even if they bother to tell you, no, I don't want it, block me, whatever, right? Then out of those, you'll book maybe 6 to 15 calls. That's a 0.3% to 0.5% conversion rate of all of the emails you send. This is fucking disgusting, guys. And then out of those people, maybe 3 to 9 out of them will show up, which is like 50 to 60% of the people you booked. I would even say it goes as low as 30%. When I was doing cold outreach, my show up rate was 30%. And then maybe you'll close one client out of them. Most of the time you won't even close anyone. But if you do, you'll close one client. And that client will first of all have fuck tons of objections. He will tell you expensive, I gotta talk to my mother, I gotta talk to my father, I gotta talk to my dog, I gotta talk to my business partner, I need to think about it. All of that bullshit, right? And you're gonna go through all of this just to land one client. Now let's talk about the costs, right? Because everyone is like, yeah, but it's not expensive. Look, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to get an email tool, right? That sends the emails. Apollo, Instantly, Lemlist, whatever. $100 to $200 a month, that's gonna cost you. Then you need to have multiple domains, multiple email accounts, because you can't just send fucking 3,000 emails from one account in a month, right? You need to have multiple, right? So, and first of all, before you even start sending emails, you need to warm up the accounts for 14 to 30 days. Because if you create an email account and start sending a fuck ton of emails every single day, you will be banned, right? So that's one thing. And then to set up a domain, 3 to 5 domains, $50 to $100. Then you need a VA for list building. That's going to cost you $300 to $500 a month. Don't even tell me I'm going to get my leads from Apollo, whatever. They suck, okay? And even the leads that you're paying for, let's say you're paying $500 for 5,000 leads. Out of them, maybe 1,000 to 2,000 out of them are going to be like valid email addresses. The rest of them are going to be old ones, expired ones, wrong ones, right? So to land one client is going to cost you all the way from $500 to $1,000. Plus, landing high-ticket clients is hard with outreach. One client is maybe going to pay you 1.5 or 1K to 4K. If 4K is if you're fucking lucky. So now let's say you collect 3K, right? You collected 3K. Now that client wants to churn. You already paid the developer to create the AI if you're doing that. You already paid your VAs. You already paid all of the shit. So you just profited like 2K and now they want a refund. So now you lost money. That's ridiculous. And then time investment, let's not even talk about that. It takes 60 to 90 days of consistent outreach to land one clients. 3 to 4 hours a day managing campaigns plus analyzing everything if you're even doing analysis. This is very important if you're going to do this, right? 2 to 5 hours a week to cook up new ideas. You need new ideas. Don't even tell me I'm going to go to ChatGPT. That shit is not going to work. Okay, you need to actually put some time and actually put your head into creating emails, right? And then 1 to 2 hours a day managing a team. This shit fucking sucks. Now let's talk about cold calling because a lot of you are like, yeah, bro, but I don't do emails, I do cold calling. Let's talk about cold calling. I've been doing cold calling for a long time, right? To land one client with cold calling, this is how it's going to take you. And these conversion rates, I'm not pulling them out of my ass. Go and search this up. This is the average conversion rates for cold outreach, cold email, and cold calling in 2025 and 2026, okay? Let's say you make 500 to 1,000 calls in total, right? Maybe out of them, you're going to reach 25 to 100 people. A lot of them are going to go to voicemail. A lot of them are going to be the wrong number. A lot of them are just going to hang up. So you reach 5 to 10% of the people that you actually call. Now, the conversation you're actually going to have is going to be 10 to 50, which is 2 to 5% conversion rate of the 500 to 1,000 calls that you made, right? Out of those conversations, maybe 5 to 20 out of them will be positive, which is 1 to 2 calls made, 1 to 2% of the calls that you make. Negative is going to be 5 to 30%. Who's going to tell you, I'm not interested, whatever. And then out of those, maybe you're going to book 3 to 10 calls, which is 0.5 to 1% of all of the calls you made, right? Maybe 2 to 7 out of them are going to show up, right? 50 to 70%. I don't know why I wrote this. Because I had a 30% conversion rate. Out of all the calls that I booked, 30% out of them actually showed. So if I book 10 calls, 3 out of them are going to show. If I book 5 calls, maybe 1 or 0 out of them are going to show. And then, let's say you're lucky. Let's just keep these numbers, okay? 50 to 70% of them actually shows. For those of you who do outreach, you know that this is not true. It is way less than this. And then you close 1 client. This is how much it costs you. Cold calling tool, you need to have a phone burner. You can use Apollo, whatever, right? A YKey, whatever. Crisp call, high level, whatever. $100 to $150 a month, right? You're going to pay for usage. I haven't even included this in here, right? This is just subscription. You're going to pay for usage, the calls you're making, minutes, phone numbers that you're going to need to scrape. Phone numbers that you're going to buy, right? VA for cold calling, if you're going to have one, because fucking making 1,000 calls, 300 calls a day, who the fuck have time for that? 5 to 8 hours a day. Who will have time for that, right? Total cost per client is going to be $520 to $800. Time investment, 30 to 60 days of consistent calling, 5 to 8 hours of dialing every single day. Now, think about it. This is what I thought about, right? I'm spending 5 to 8 hours a day for fucking 1 to 2 months just to land 1 to 3 clients. I'm better off working a fucking 9 to 5, right? This is not fucking worth it. So let me tell you why outreach is so hard. So this is a funnel, right? Every business has a top of funnel, middle of funnel, and a bottom of funnel. The top of funnel is where you get the leads. The leads enter in here and then exits here, right? When they enter, it's like, hey, I exist, I sell AI, right? They know that you exist. You're telling businesses I exist, right? You're doing cold calls here. Then with cold calling, what happens is there is no middle of funnel. You completely skip this. And this is the most important part because here you show value, you build trust, and you warm up the leads. And this is fucking necessary if you want to land a client, right? If you completely skip this, we take them from top of funnel to bottom of funnel, which is like you're asking them to buy your AI, right? So you go from, hey, I exist, I sell AI, to please buy my AI. There is no value shown. That is like, we're gonna get into this. Put yourself in a business owner's shoes, right? You're busy, you barely have time, you're stressed, you barely have time to take a shit for your own family, to eat, whatever, right? And then you get approached hundreds of times every single day with the same AI offer, promising to 10x your revenue with an AI agent or automate some tasks, right? How would you react if someone cold called you and try and selling you AI? Same offer. They were like, hey, my name is Haroon, I sell AI, I can solve this problem in your business, let's hop on a call, buy. You would say no, right? You would absolutely say no, because you get this offer 100 times a day. So the brutal truth about outreach is that it puts you in a weak positioning. It's expensive. It's getting harder day by day as more people enter the market. And there's thousands of AI agencies being born every single day. Everyone's selling the same thing. Everyone doing cold outreach. They don't trust you at all. There's a problem with trust, which is the most important thing for someone to actually buy from you. The conversion rates are garbage. I just broke it down to you. It doesn't compound. Even if you get a sales call, it is ice cold. They don't know you. They know your business. They don't trust you, right? It's not worth the time and money you invest. It's better to have a 9 to 5, and it is a fucking hamster wheel because you need to do more and more and more and more and more. Now, the solution for this is what I'm doing. And I'm the only one doing it right now as you're watching this. or as I'm creating this. It's called the AI social funnel. Instead of you chasing clients, you have clients chasing you. All these, I wish I could zoom in, but all these businesses have applied to work with me. I have never cold called to them, never reached out to them. I don't even know who these people are. They want to pay me money. And I'm going to show you how. Let's go to my Miro board. So this is the funnel when it comes to cold calling, okay? You take them from, as I told you, top of funnel, right? And you do cold emails, you're doing cold calling, telling them, hey, we sell AI, we can do extra revenue, right? And then you're instantly pitching a call, right? A call of like, let's open a call, right? This is how a normal sales, like cold calling script is, or cold email script. Hey, the problem is that your business is like you are losing money. We help them with AI, whatever. Let's open a call, right? If you manage to get someone on a call, which is very, very hard, right? The call is going to be ice cold. They don't know you. They don't trust you. Even if they show up, it's going to be ice cold. They don't know you. They don't trust you. They don't know what the fuck this is. They just showed up. Now you're going to ask them a bunch of questions like how much revenue is your business doing? What is the problem? How many of the calls do you get picked up? Whatever. You're going to ask a bunch of questions and then you're going to, in the end, tell them, yeah, it's 5K. What do you feel about that? Imagine someone does this to you. Would you buy? Fuck no. Right? This is garbage. This shit is garbage. Now let me break down the AI social funnel for you. This is the best shit you ever seen. Okay, I'm so fucking passionate about this because this is going to change the way AI agencies work. Okay, so the top of funnel is simple. You're going to have top of funnel ads, right? Top of funnel non-salesy ads. It's not going to be like those salesy ads because now you're probably thinking, oh, it's just running ads. No, it's not running ads. It's a whole different funnel. Ads is just 1% of the whole funnel, okay? But the top of funnel, to bring us eyeballs, what we're going to do is we're going to run some top of funnel ads, which is going to be non-salesy. You're not going to try and sell in the ads. You're not going to try any of that shit. You're just going to call them out, address the problem, and basically your goal is to get attention and let business owners know that you exist, right? So we do that two ways. Non-salesy ads, top of funnel non-salesy ads, and targeted organic content. Super specific targeted organic content, right? So, and here's the thing as well. A lot of people wonder, like, what to do, like, I'm not going to do outreach. We're going to keep the outreach going, right? We're going to keep the outreach going. But instead of doing it ourselves, we're going to hire VAs, purely commission-based VAs, and then automate it. So you spend zero time on outreach, but it doesn't stop it. Now this month, I'm doing so good that I have stopped outreach, but last month and a couple of months before this, when I was running this AI social funnel, I stopped doing outreach, or I had basically what I call a commission-based army to do outreach for me. So every time they reached out to businesses, got me leads, and every time I closed those leads, they got a percentage of it, right? So I didn't do any outreach. So this is our top of funnel. Non-salesy top of funnel ads and targeted organic content. The goal is to get attention and let business owners know we exist. What do we use? We use Facebook ads and then we use Instagram. But the main thing we're going to use is going to be Instagram. And no, you don't have to be a fucking expert at Facebook ads or whatever. It is so fucking simple. It's not the kind of ads you think. It's not the kind of ads you think. It is very simple ads. The ads are going to basically take traffic and send them to your Instagram. Your Instagram is going to act as your website. Okay? Now, the middle of funnel is going to be this. Okay? It's going to be organic because they're going to see your ad, whatever, right? They're going to see your content. Then they're going to click on your profile, right? Once they have seen your ad and they clicked on your profile, they'll go from top of funnel to the middle of funnel, right? And what did we learn about the middle of funnel? Let me show you. Here is where we're going to build trust, show value, and warm them up, right? So here is exactly how it's going to happen. And the things we're going to use to do that is content. What kind of content? Organic, middle of funnel content, which is going to be testimonials, right? If you don't have testimonials, don't worry about it. It's going to be demo content, right? It's going to be behind the scenes content. It's going to be lead magnets. It's going to be pain point content. It's going to be stories. It's going to be case studies. It's going to be backstory content. It's going to be warm conversations, right? You're going to use all of this to basically show value, build trust, and warm them up. And once they're warmed up, we're going to send all of that warm traffic who already trusts you, already knows that you know your shit. They already know your business. They already know about you. It's not cold traffic anymore. It's very, very warm traffic. And to even make them even warmer, what we're going to do is we're going to send them to a demo application where they're going to apply for a demo. Okay. And once they apply for a demo, we're going to send the demo to them, a personalized demo for their business. It takes us 5 minutes to create, right? And once we send the demo, we also send a Calendly link. So it's going to be like, hey, XYZ business, here's the demo that you applied for. If you're interested in this, book a call with us. And you send a Calendly link. And then obviously if they don't reply, you follow up and et cetera, right? The goal is simple, build trust. And the tools we're going to use is going to be Instagram and YouTube. Okay? YouTube a little bit, mostly Instagram, right? Now, here's what's going to happen in the middle of funnel. Each piece of content is going to educate them on who we are, what we do, why they need the AI, and prove that it works. Okay? Then what that does is it gives value and it builds trust, right? And then what happens when we have the given value and we have their trust, it lowers their guard. Right? They're not skeptical anymore. It removes the skepticism, the doubts, and all of that. It warms them up, right? They're very, very warm leads, and it destroys their limiting beliefs they have about the AI, right? Our content does that. I believe I mentioned it in here. Okay, yeah. I didn't mention it in here, but we also have belief-breaking content. That is a part of the middle of the funnel, okay? So top of funnel, ads and targeted organic content. They click on our profile. They binge through all of this. They watch all of this. And then once they're ready, they apply for a demo. And we send them the demo plus a Calendly link to book a call with us. Okay? Simple. Now, once they're at the bottom of funnel, they've seen the demo, they book what we call an enrollment call. I call this an enrollment call. Okay? I don't call this an ICE call. I don't even call it a sales call because it's not a sales call anymore, right? They already know us. They already know everything about us. They already know our content. They already know everything, right? We just get them on a call. They're ready to buy. Most of them are ready to buy, right? We use what? Zoom or Google Meets, and then we use Stripe to collect the payment, right? Now, prospects are very, very, very warm due to the middle of funnel, right? Because they already binged our content. They already trust us. They already know who we are, what we do, why they need it, and prove that it works. They already gotten value, they already trust us, and their guard is low, no skepticism, already warmed up, and no limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs, right? So because of this, objections are already pre-handled, most of them. You have authority on the call. It's not like you're begging them like cold calling. You have position of power, and they already know you and your business. So what happens then? It leads to a natural sale. It leads to, I need this product. They're already seen so much. They're already so fucking warmed up that it's a natural sale. It's not forced. It's not like forced. You don't have to use all these guru tactics telling them like, yeah, limited spots, bro. We have limited spots, only taking on 3 clients this week. You don't have to do none of that shit. It's a natural sale. Have you seen ever Apple do that shit? Have you seen Tesla do that shit? No, they don't do that shit. Why? Because they have mastered the middle of funnel. You buy from those brands because you already trust them, right? You have never received a call from Apple, right? The top of funnel, telling them, they tell you, we launched this new iPhone, please buy, right? They don't take you from the top of funnel to the middle funnel, to the bottom of funnel. They take you from the top of funnel, you see some ads or content or whatever, boom, this happens. You go through all of their content. Now, they don't have content, they have other things, right? But they earn your trust, they educate you on who they are, what they do, what they sell, why you need it, blah, 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 right? And boom, it's a natural sale. iPhone, Nike, Apple, Tesla, all of those biggest brands, right? They don't fucking do outreach. So that is how it works, right? So the AI social funnel is so fucking powerful because you take them from the top of funnel, which is, hey, I exist, I sell AI, right, through ads and organic content, organic targeted content. And then we have this part right here, which is the most important part, where you show value, build trust, and warm them up through our organic content and personalized demo and a Calendly link, right? So when they hop on the call, which most of them are going to do, the sale is just going to be natural. You don't have to convince them of shit, right? Now, let's break down the numbers on landing one client with the AI social funnel. So here's the first stage. Traffic plus, which is going to be getting traffic, which is going to be like ads or organic content. This is the only cost. You're not going to have any other costs than this, right? Because you're not going to have any other tools, like small tools like Calendly and shit like that, right? Other than that, you're not going to have any. So this is going to be $200 to $500, right? Which is going to give you 5,000 to 10,000 impressions, right? Out of those, let's say 10% of them actually visits your profile, which is a 10% CTR, right? Out of those people, out of the 500 to 1,000 people, let's say as little as 30% of them, which is 150 to 300 people, consume your content. They binge watch your content, or they even follow you, right? Out of the 150 to 300 people, let's say 50 out of them, 50% out of them is going to apply for a demo. It's going to be 75 to 150 people, right? Let's say 67%, which is these are average numbers, okay? 67% of them are qualified, because not everyone who applies for a demo is going to be qualified, right? A lot of them are going to be testing it. A lot of them are going to be like, just not the right fit. So let's say out of 75 to 150 people, 50 to 100 out of them are actually qualified. So you send them a demo. Now, out of those 50 to 100 people, 10 to 20% of the people that actually watch the demo are going to book a call, right? And then out of those 10 to 20 people, 7 to 16 people are actually going to show up on the call, which is a 70 to 80% conversion rate. If you remember, in the beginning of this video, last month, I showed you that I had 74.4% show up rate, right? Which is nowhere near cold calling or cold emailing, which is 20 to 30%, right? And out of those, we're going to maybe close 1 to 2 clients, which is going to be 30 to 40% close rate. I had a 60% close rate in my best week, but it can go up and down, right? And this is way fucking better than cold outreach, because here's the total cost per client: $200 to $500 to get one client. And that client is going to close for a lot higher price than the client you get from cold calling, because they already trust you, they already blah, 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 right? So you can close that client I close clients for all the way up to $5,000 only for one AI receptionist, a voice agent, right? And even if they churn, what did we get? What did we lose? $200 to $500, right? And they fucking barely churn. Okay, time to close them, bro. I would even say 7 to 25 days, 7 to 20 days. Time investment, 1 to 2 hours a day on creating content. Not even that. Now the costs for cold calling, again, cold calling tool, all of that shit, I already went through it, $520 to $800. Time invested, 30 to 60 days of consistent cold calling. 5 to 8 hours a day of daily dialing. So you can pause this and kind of compare these two, okay? Now, the gurus. This is what I found out about the gurus. Remember I said they do the opposite of what they say? Iman Ghazi, Alex Ramosi, Charlie Morgan, these are just like some of the biggest gurus. Every fucking guru, all of the AI gurus, I'm not going to drop names and shit, right? I don't want to fucking sit and start drama with all these people, right? But your favorite AI gurus or any type of guru have lied to you. They tell you to do cold outreach, right? That's what you heard, and that's the reason you do cold outreach. But how do they get their clients? Through content, through their personal brands, through their basically social funnel, right? Alex Ramosi doesn't do fucking cold outreach. So doesn't Charlie Morgan. So doesn't Iman Ghazi. Right? They don't do it. Have you ever received a call from one of these people? No, you haven't. Or email telling them to buy your shit. No, you haven't. You are the ones who follow them because their content speaks to you. So let's imagine you hop on a call with Imam Ghazi today. You're going to shit your pants because he has so much authority, right? So all these people tell you to do outreach, but they don't do outreach themselves. Yes, maybe they did it in the beginning. But again, if you're in the beginning, you haven't even started your AI agency, you haven't even landed a couple of clients, you haven't even done outreach, you're not supposed to be here. This is for the people who want to scale, right? So they tell you to do one thing, but do the opposite, right? Now, the brutal truth is that the market is shifting. You can't no longer just say the word AI and expect business owners to buy. You have to lead with value and build trust. And the only way to do that is through the AI social funnel, where you're doing the top of funnel, the middle of funnel, and the bottom of funnel. And the middle of funnel is what's doing the magic, unlike cold outreach. Okay? The difference is that cold calling and outreach is disrupting one-to-one marketing. You interrupt someone's day, right? They didn't ask to hear from you. You force a conversation out of them. And here's the thing. A lot of people is like, yeah, Haroon says that cold outreach doesn't work. I never fucking said that. I just says that it fucking sucks. And now I've proven to you why. It works, but it requires massive volume, right? Content, on the other hand, is permissioned marketing at scale. It is not one-to-one. It is one-to-many. One-to-one marketing is you have to call or reach out to one person or each one of the person that you want to market to one by one. Content is one-to-many because you can put out content and they come to you. You can put out content and it shows to fucking everyone or whoever you target with it, right? So they're already scrolling or consuming content, right? They choose to stop and engage with your content because your content targets them. And they give you permission to be in their feed because they can scroll if they want, but they don't because your content targets them. And the potential is huge. And the work you put in, not as much as cold outreach. Now, I don't want to confuse people that you don't have to put in work. Obviously, you have to put in work, but not as much as this shit. And the ROI on this, if you put 5 hours every single day into cold calling versus you put 5 hours every single day into content or a social funnel, ask yourself from everything I've shown you, what has the highest ROI? Obviously, content. So why does the AI social funnel win? Because it is voluntary attention versus forced attention. Cold calling is like they're annoyed that you interrupted them. Content is they stop because they're interested, right? Pre-qualified and warm. People from the social funnel is pre-qualified and warm, right? Cold calling is ice cold, high resistance. Content is they're pre-warm, they already watched it. It lowers the resistance and guard, right? It compounds over time. Cold calling is dead after the conversation, right? Content works 24/7. There is content, if you're watching this, probably you're watching this 1, 3, 5, 6, 12 months later, right? For some of you. And this is still working, right? Every content you put out there is there forever and it shows up on people's feed forever, right? Authority positioning. Cold calling is please listen to me kind of energy, begging kind of energy. Content is here's why people listen to me. It's completely different energy, right? I'm not even going to go into this, but cold calling is 0 to 52 to 0 to 80% per person you reach. Content is 0.04 to 0.05%. 0.5%, not percent, cents or dollars per person reached with ads. You can even do this completely organically, which is completely free. But I will obviously recommend ads, right? So now that you understand how to scale your AI agency and how I did it to 30 to 50K a month without doing outreach. So here is what I have for you. If you run an AI agency, you're stuck between 5 to 10K a month, you hate chasing clients and you're worrying about being a commodity, and you're ready to scale to 30 to 50K a month within the next 90 days, you're ready to hire teams so you can free up your time, you're ready to have clients chasing you, pay high ticket, have high show up rate, have high close rate, and etc., and you're ready to actually build a long-term assets that compounds over time, then the AI social funnel is for you. I book a one-on-one call with me the link down below. And if you're ready to implement this, because I do one-on-one for this, okay? And I implement this into your business for you, okay, with you. So if you are serious about this and you're actually serious about scaling, this is not for the people who are like, yeah, I don't know, bro. I broke down everything. I broke down all the numbers. The difference is clear. You know what you need to do, right? If you're serious about this shit, book a call with me. If not, don't book a call with me, okay? Because if I could show you right now, I launched a story about this yesterday on my Instagram, and I got 500 people who reached out to me in like 12 to 16 hours. Okay, so if you're serious, apply down below. If not, you can stay stuck in the cold outreach hamster wheel forever. That's